guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details, and yesterday we did day one on this Subaru Outback. I went over some techniques, some chemicals, some products, some equipment that I use to try to show any of you that are wanting to kind of take your interior game or your detailing game kind of to that next level. Maybe you're struggling with time efficiency and you're wanting to see some techniques to maybe help you speed up your process. Check out that video. Hopefully you'll be able to kind of gather some things that will help speed up your detail, give you better results, and a greater profit margin. So anyways, we're here for day two, and we've got everything ready to go. We're going to be doing our paint prep and our ceramic coating. Customer has a very limited budget. I'm only charging her $400 for the interior, exterior paint prep, and the ceramic coating. I'm using DPC Shield Pro, which is a prosumer grade, very affordable, super easy to apply ceramic coating. I'm only charging around $100 for me to apply the coating. So because my profit margin is not as high, the customer, I've already had the conversation with her on what is your expectation for paint correction and also what is your budget for paint correction. And she really doesn't have any. She likes the look of a ceramic coating. She likes the easier maintenance. She already has all of the chemicals to maintain it. But she doesn't want to have to pay for a lot of paint correction because this is kind of a work vehicle for her. There's scratches all over it. If I were to go ahead and do a thorough paint correction on this, you're probably looking around $200–300 by itself before I even apply the ceramic coating, and that's on top of the interior detail that I already did. So she'd be probably close to $600–700 at the end of the day for me to do a full interior, exterior wash, polish, and ceramic coating. That's not within the realm of possibility for her. So I told her what I will do is I will wash it, I will do a prep polish, a surface prep to remove any sort of polishing oils, and then the ceramic coating. So yesterday I used McKee's 37, their coating prep auto wash. It's a fantastic wash. If you're getting ready for ceramic coating, it rids the paint of any sort of previous waxes and sealants, things like that. I absolutely love it. It leaves the paint squeaky clean. Today what we're doing, now I did do 3D1 on the hood because there were a lot of scratches on the hood, and that's one of the most noticeable areas for most vehicles. So I wanted to, kind of dial that in. I maybe did, 50 to 75% correction, but on the rest of the paint, I'm more concerned about removing any sort of remaining road film, any sort of contaminants that might be on the paint, maybe some very light scratches marring from the clay towel. So what I'm going to actually be using is McKee's 37, their coating prep polish. Now, I've seen videos on this in the past. I've used it once or twice. A lot of times, a lot of you might think, well, if you're going to go through the actions of polishing, why don't you just use something like 3D1? It'll remove a little bit more swirls, because in a lot of their videos, they claim that this does not have any sort of abrasives in it. But I'll tell you this, based on the pad that you choose, it can remove, light scratches. I actually did some touch-up paint on the lower rocker panel right there. Sorry, it's hard to point backwards. And I actually did 3000 grit sandpaper to try to smooth out some of the paint. And I had an orange pad, used this, and it removed the 3000 grit sanding lines because the pad essentially was the one that did the cutting. So this does a fantastic job of removing road film and embedded dirt, preps paint, glass, and wheels for coating. Easy on, easy off. I don't have to do 4 or 5 passes with it because you're not necessarily chasing swirls and scratches. More so you're wanting to clean the paint and prep it for coating. You still want to do your surface prep, but I know that a lot of detailers out there, if you were to say, can you ceramic coat a vehicle without polishing it, they would tell you no, that you need to perfect the paint and that you need to remove 90 to 100% of swirls and scratches before you lock in the condition of the paint with the ceramic coating. And ideally, yes, that would be what you would want to pursue. But if the customer's budget does not allow for it, or the customer doesn't care about removing swirls and scratches, they just want a protection that's going to last, that's going to make their life easier, it's going to give them that nice glow, really it's up to the customer at the end of the day. I think sometimes we as detailers, we detail for the detailer and not for the customer. And if the customer at the end of the day isn't paying for it, but they're willing to pay you $100 for a ceramic coating upgrade, you have to kind of put your ego aside. A lot of you will say, but my name is on it. Well, okay, if that's the stance you want to go, then you might lose some business that could get you $100, $200. I highly doubt that a customer is going around and, let's say they're in a grocery store parking lot and someone says, hey, shiny car, and they're like, it was detailed by Chelsea long ago, and then people see all the swirls and scratches and they're like, okay, never go in a hurt. I've never once had that situation. So a lot of times when I am ceramic coating a vehicle, because I try to be more affordable and more economical for my customers, and typically that's what they prefer, I don't chase paint perfection. I may use 3D1, I'll get 50 to 75% correction on harder paint. On softer paints it's a lot easier because there's not as much correction that's needed. But for the most part, really what's important is washing it, remove road film. You want to decontaminate it, do your iron remover, your clay towel. You want to remove any sort of waxes and sealants, and then, if you're doing any sort of polishing, you want to remove the polishing oils. So this is a perfect scenario for a product like this that you can clean the paint properly and get it ready for ceramic coating. Does it mean that this doesn't do any sort of correction just because within this description it says it doesn't have any sort of abrasives? It will still do correction based on the pad that you choose. It says right here, it's a lotion-like formula that deep cleans paint, ridding it of gloss-hindering contaminants that will prevent a coating, paint, sealant, or wax from properly bonding. And you can use this for really any prep step, waxes, sealants, etc. Formulated without any silicones, waxes, or fillers, coating prep polish leaves nothing on the surface, making it the best polish for use before application of any product that requires 100% oil and wax-free surface. Apply by hand or machine. What's great is if you use something like this, you don't necessarily have to use a surface prep afterwards. You can kind of skip a step. You can just do your wash, your decon, dry, do this, and then your ceramic coating. Because for McKee's 37 with their ceramic coating, this is the prep. So you can have their surface prep or you can polish it with this. So, it depends on the route that you're wanting to go. You could use the surface prep even afterwards if you're just wanting to, remove any sort of lint or things like that, but it's not necessary. It's kind of overkill. So anyways, I don't need to make this video any longer. I'm just going to show you a few seconds, a few minutes or so of me polishing. I don't have to spend a lot of time. I can get around this vehicle. It's 3:15 or 3:20 by 4 o'clock. I plan to be done. That's fast. I know. That's technically about 45 minutes of work, and then from there the ceramic coating, another 45 minutes of work. So if my kids don't interrupt me, if no one falls off their bike, if no one runs to me screaming because their brother shot them in the head with a water gun, I could potentially be done by supper time with polishing and ceramic coating this vehicle, let it cure overnight, top it with Kingsguard, we're good to go. So alright guys, here's our finished look. You can see we've got nice clean paint. If I bring you in close, you can see it is nice and smooth, no contaminants. We're able to remove any sort of remaining road film that maybe our soaps missed, any artillery fungus, rail dust, everything has been removed. This paint is prepped and ready to go for ceramic coating. Could you use a polish that has more abrasives to it? Certainly, by all means. If you want to chase swirls and scratches, if customers paying for it, or if that's a priority to you, by all means, there are polishes out there that are easy to use, easy wipe on, easy wipe off. But at the same time, this is a product that is not going to compromise your clear coat because there's really not a lot of abrasives. I was able to remove 3,000 grit sanding marks, and if there were any sort of scuff marks or paint transfer, like the black scuff marks that hit, from rubber or things like that, it cleaned those off perfectly. Light scratches, it was able to remove them. So based on the pad that you choose, you could do some very mild correction. But more than anything, we've been able to properly prep for the ceramic coating. And like I said, 45 minutes to be able to get around a vehicle. And I know that we haven't skipped any, corners. We haven't jumped any corners in getting the vehicle ready for ceramic coating. I could just, a lot of people would say, oh, just wash, do chemical remover, clay towel, do some panel prep, wipe, and polish, and do your ceramic coating. And ideally, you could, but I feel like this is just a step further of removing any sort of remaining road film, rail dust, things like that, and just refining the paint a little bit more. So we're gonna go ahead, apply our ceramic coating. It is now 3:40. No, I can't tell time. It is 4:40. I'm hoping by 5:30 to be completely done with this vehicle. So, fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and get our ceramic coating set up, and I'm going to put you into time lapse, but I'm going to let you see just how quickly I can get around this vehicle with a ceramic coating. Alright guys, it is 5:35. I got this done in 50 minutes. I had to do trim. There's a little bit more trim. But you can see hood is corrected. Rest of the vehicle, we just have coating prep polish. We've got beautiful gloss. We even did our trim. Look at that reflection. So for those of you who scoff at a detailer who wants to be able to offer ceramic coating with either limited paint correction or no paint correction, I just want to show you there is a proper way. I'm not saying mine is the only way, but this is a proper way that you can wash, decontaminate, prep the paint, and apply the ceramic coating. Do it quickly, do it affordably. You can provide this service to customers for a very economical price. So I hope you were able to kind of take something from this video. Be encouraged for those of you who are maybe new to detailing and you don't want to have to learn how to do paint perfection and you want to still offer ceramic coatings. This is a great option. You can see we still have great reflection. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm sure there are some of you that are not going to like it, but that's okay. This isn't for everyone. There are some of you that have been doing this long enough that you can perfect paint quickly and get fantastic results for a still economical price. But for those that are new or beginners or a little intimidated by paint perfection and want to break into ceramic coatings, this is a great way to introduce your market and your customers to it. Make sure you have clear communication and expectations with the customer. All right, that's key, okay? But it is totally doable and feasible. All right, guys, we're gonna pull this back in, let it complete curing, and then tomorrow we're gonna top it with Kingsguard. And I'll put an after picture on my Facebook business page, attention to details. So if you want to see what it looks like after the fact, I have a feeling it might rain, so I may not be able to pull it out. I might tell the customer I'll keep it for another day. It needs to be 24 hours without getting wet. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.